Let's jump right into this explainer and shatter a myth we've literally been handed for decades. For generations, the deal was simple, right? You go to college, get an average four-year degree, and boom, you've got a secure ticket to the middle class. Well, not anymore. The data we're looking at today completely flips that script. We are going to explore exactly how generative AI is rapidly and somewhat ruthlessly rewriting the rules of the graduate job market. Now, look at this staggering number, 42.5%. That is the percentage of recent graduates right now who are underemployed. They're working jobs that don't even require a college degree. We're seeing this massive wave of people walking across a stage to get their diploma, only to get stuck in retail or basic service roles simply because the entry-level white-collar jobs they went to school for are just evaporating. And honestly, here's the real wake-up call. Recent college graduate unemployment is actually sitting at 5.6%. That is visibly higher than the national average of 4.3%. For the longest time, a degree was your ultimate protective shield against being jobless. But today, that college premium is dropping to historic lows as the market gets incredibly cutthroat. To make sense of this massive shift, we're going to map things out across four areas: the broken promise, the elite shield, the hands-on boom, and finally, the mid-tier squeeze. Okay, starting with Section 1, the broken promise, and how AI is fundamentally reshaping graduate futures. You know that traditional, safe bell curve of job security we all expected? Throw it out. It's gone. The job market has polarized into an M shape. Picture the letter M in your head. That big dip in the middle, that represents the rapidly shrinking opportunities for your average four-year degree. Meanwhile, those two extreme peaks on either side are where all the employment success is heavily concentrated right now. The middle is literally hollowing out. Think of those two extreme peaks as your new safe zones. On one side, you have the Ivy League and top-tier universities. They survive on exclusive human networks and a heavy pivot toward AI and leadership. On the complete opposite side, you have vocational schools and trades. They thrive because they are entirely hands-on and practically immune to AI. If you're standing on either of those peaks, you're doing great. Let's move to Section 2, the elite shield, and why those top tiers are still thriving. Despite all the recent headlines about the tech and finance sectors cooling down, top-tier and Ivy League graduates still command a massive 90% employment and placement rate within 6 months. Sure, the job hunt might take a tiny bit longer than it did during the wild hiring boom of 2021, but the overwhelming majority of these elite students are landing securely on their feet. And get this, while average salaries are stagnating across the board, elite compensation is actually rising. Take recent Harvard Business School MBAs, for example. They secured a median starting salary of $184,500. It proves that for the absolute top layer of talent, their market value hasn't just survived the AI wave, it's grown. So how exactly do they pull this off in such a tough market? Honestly, it's about impenetrable networks. When top companies get flooded with resumes, they use exclusive alumni connections as a filtering mechanism. We're also seeing the rise of new Ivies. These are highly ranked schools with exceptional industry ties. Plus, these grads are highly adaptable. As traditional roles shrink, they are pivoting fast into advanced AI, biotech, and cutting-edge startups. Jumping over to Section 3, the hands-on boom. These are the skills AI just can't touch. Over on this second peak of our M curve, the narrative flips completely. Graduates in fields like nursing and medical technology are hitting a near-perfect 95% employment rate just 1 year out of school. And this isn't some temporary flash in the pan. 5 years out, their employment stability remains incredibly high. The demand is just absolutely massive. Why are they doing so incredibly well? Well, because generative AI cannot turn a wrench. It can't draw blood, it can't fix a complex HVAC unit, and it definitely can't physically swap out frontline server hardware. These mid-skill, hands-on jobs are currently the most AI-resistant careers on the planet. And this brings us to a massive financial reality check. Practical skills are paying off so incredibly well that nearly a third of community college graduates are now out-earning traditional university graduates. The return on investment for a 2-year technical degree or a specialized certification is currently beating out a whole lot of standard 4-year bachelor's programs. Okay, Section 4, the mid-tier squeeze. Basically, the collapse of the middle. Tracing this timeline, you can literally watch the middle collapse for standard 4-year universities. We had that post-pandemic hiring frenzy in 2021, which ran straight into aggressive AI disruption around 2023. Fast forward to right now, and mid-tier four-year graduates have seen their real starting salaries plunge by 8% when adjusted for inflation. We're talking a multi-year low of around $54,500. Why the massive plunge? Because unfortunately, these mid-tier grads were trained for the exact entry-level, white-collar jobs that generative AI is obliterating. Basic administrative tasks, junior data entry, even standard software development and basic coding. Companies just do not need to hire a massive team of entry-level grads for this anymore when an AI can execute it in seconds.
Because these mid-level jobs are vanishing, the protective magic of a standard bachelor's degree is fading fast. The unemployment gap between someone with a standard college degree and someone with just a high school diploma, it has shrunk to a razor-thin 2.5 to 3%. When you factor in the massive cost of tuition and all that student debt, that tiny edge is losing its financial justification. The basic diploma just doesn't carry the premium it used to.
Finally, Section 5, Navigating the AI Wave and What Your Next Step Should Be. This quote highlights a harsh reality straight from our source data. The safe, middle path of a generic four-year degree is quickly becoming a trap. Employers today aren't looking for someone to just warm a basic desk chair. They want seasoned experts, elite problem solvers, or highly skilled hands-on technicians. So as we wrap up this explainer, I want you to ask yourself a crucial question. Which peak of the M curve are you aiming for? Will you climb that elite peak to manage and build the AI? Will you secure the practical peak with highly demanded AI-resistant physical skills? Or will you risk getting caught in the shrinking middle? The choice is entirely yours, but the data is clear. Standing still in the middle is no longer an option. Thanks for joining us for this explainer, and we'll catch you next time.